All right, welcome to this video on Radio DJ. We're going to be looking at the playlist builder. There are three things I want to focus on, but I'm going to do them one at a time in separate videos. So in this video, we're just going to deal with making a playlist manually. Okay. So what's the purpose of this? There are some people who want to make a specific playlist to play on a specific day and time. And they make a playlist because they want certain songs in a certain order to play during this playlist or during this time period. Basically, like putting together a show, but you're using the music and the files from Radio DJ to put together this show. Therefore, you have to create a playlist to load this show up. Okay. So down at the bottom of Radio DJ, this is version 2006, by the way. There's a playlist builder, and we're going to click on that. Now, depending on what version you have, this screen will either be like it is now, or sometimes they're on top of each other. In other words, there's the top half and the lower half. In this particular case, we have side by side versus lower half, top half. Okay. All right. So on the left hand side is your library. You can get to any part. You can search for whatever you want right here. And it will filter out things, or you can drill down to the various categories. Okay. Or if you want to be even more specific, you can go to the genre. And this will only work if when you've added the music, you gave it a genre. A lot of times things don't have a genre. And so this wouldn't work. So I got some songs in here that have the genre gospel because I set it to that when I loaded them. Okay. So these are the different ways you can pick what you want to use in your playlist. The other thing about a playlist, whenever it loads, it plays in exactly the order that you loaded it. So playlists are not random. They will play the exact same way each and every time. Okay. And a playlist can be whatever you want. If you want, do I have any station IDs? Thought I had one. So let's search for that. Yep. So if I want the first thing in the playlist to sound off is a station ID, then that's what I would choose. Okay. So basically, this thing can be in whatever order you want. So I'm gonna do a bro D fat, maybe 3 of those, maybe a gospel song, and then maybe a commercial. So let's go filter out nothing but commercials. Maybe I'll do 2 of these. And you see my commercials are red. It should be green, but I hadn't changed the color on this. And then maybe after the commercials, maybe I want a station promo. So I'm gonna do a bumper. Jam into our jams. See what that sounds like.
Since you obviously like jamming to our jams, tell somebody about it on Facebook.
Okay. So we can put that over there. And we can actually move them around. So maybe I want this after the second song. So 2 songs, play a bumper, then another song, commercial, some more songs. And then maybe, okay. So just put those in there. This playlist can be as long or as short as you need it to be. All right. So this is the playlist. I'm going to save it. Okay. I'm going to save this playlist. And I'm going to call it my first playlist. Okay. Now, when you save it like this, it saves it to the database. Okay. So now that we've made this playlist, now we want to schedule this playlist. I'm going to exit out of the playlist builder. Now we want to schedule this playlist to run. So we're going to come over here to our event manager. And we're going to add this playlist. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, we'll just add this playlist. I'm going to click on the plus green sign and I'm going to give it a title. That can be whatever you want. We can do a day and a time. I'm just going to choose this. All right. So our action for this, for loading this playlist, we're going to click on the plus green sign. And as you see, you have load playlist, load M3U playlist, load M3U playlist by date mask. Then, of course, you got shuffle playlist and clear playlist. This shuffle playlist and clear playlist has to do with what's in the queue. So in this case, because we made a playlist, we didn't save it to our hard drive. It is stored in RadioDJ. So that's the first one we're going to choose, load playlist. Load playlist is for playlists that you save in RadioDJ. It's very important that we load this to the top and not the bottom. If you load this playlist to the bottom, then what happens is whatever's in the playlist has to play first before the playlist starts to play. So we're going to load this to the top, okay? Then below that, our options are, we have several playlists. So we're going to choose the one we want to load, which is my first playlist. That's the one we want to load. We're going to add that action. And to make sure that this playlist starts at the time we set, we're going to also click on the plus green sign and select start play and add that action. So there should be two commands. Pick a playlist to load, or really actually load it, and then play it. And then I can add that event and I'm done. Now, most people say, well, shouldn't you stop RadioDJ, load the playlist and start it? No, you do not have to do that. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. So let's do that by loading in some of this stuff. We're going to load in a bunch of road defects, okay? Let's go back to our load. Load my first playlist. Also, if you have a lot of events, which I have on my main station, you can search for events just right here in this top box right here. And that'll narrow it down to the things that sound based on what you type, not what it sounds like. So it's 1,300 hours. So, of course, we're going to move that to 1,300 hours. And we'll move this to 0200. So in 50 seconds, the playlist that we just created called My First Playlist is going to load to the top of the queue, which means it's going to push everything in the queue down, okay, so that everything in the playlist will play. And then it's going to continue with whatever was in the playlist. So you're going to see this number 25, it's going to be moved down. Now, well, not in this case because we're going to start playing. So if you're already playing music, you don't have to stop RadioDJ. Watch what happens when this loads. You don't have to touch anything. I'm going to stop.
You're listening to WNIA-DB. Winston-Salem,
See?
North Carolina. St. Mary, Jamaica.
All right. Of course, I had the same song in there. But as you see, it just jumped in front of whatever was playing, faded it down, and started playing the playlist. And the first thing I had in the playlist was a station ID. Followed by, this is the layout. 2 songs by Bro DFAT. Then a sweeper, in this case, or a bumper. Another song. A gospel song. And then a commercial. 2 commercials, another bumper, and then we're right back to what was in the queue first. The 25 already played, 24 was next. So you don't have to change anything when you're loading playlists. You don't have to stop Radio DJ. You don't have to come out of auto DJ mode or go into automated, or you don't have to do any of that. It loaded the playlist, pushed everything else down so that it could play the playlist. And when the playlist gets finished, guess what? It picks up where it left off. Okay? So when you're creating your manual playlist and you're scheduling them, as long as the play command is the last command, it's going to play it exactly at the time that you have it scheduled. Whatever's in the queue will just be moved down because we told it to load this playlist to the top. So it loaded it to the top, pushing everything that was already in the queue down, and it loaded our playlist. Then we told it, all right, now play. So that it'll start at the time that we told it to start. And as you can see, it's going through the playlist that we created.
Since you obviously like
Okay.
jamming to our jams, tell somebody about it on Facebook.
It's going through the whole thing. Then it's going to play the gospel song, which I'm going to turn down so we don't get flagged. And then it's got 2 commercials. It's going to play the commercial. Turn it down so we're going to get flagged. Another commercial. And then it's going to play our... Stop that. Then it's going to play another bumper.
The number to call is 865-332-3244.
And then it's going to go right back to whatever was in the queue prior to this.
Call right now and leave your comments, your questions, and your requests. That's 865-332-3244.
And it's going to do it so clean and classic. It's going to make your station sound like it was it's professionally programmed, or it's being ran professionally. All right. Again, that's when you're making a manual playlist. All right. So the other playlist options I'm going to do in another video to keep these videos short. Let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. And don't forget, you can always go to www.howtoUseRadioDJ.com for these videos and more.